Do you know how many times we still stuck in the same patterns, the same repetitive things, and then we think that why these things are happening to us again and again? Because these things might make you learn some lessons, and they are repeating to make you learn lessons, and you are ignoring them. That's the reason, that's the patterns that are getting repeated again and again. Hello, my name is Chetna. Welcome to my channel. Let's start, and we are going to bring small changes in our life to bring the bigger changes. Okay, so the very first thing in this video, the topic is that recognizing the old patterns that you have been having in your lives. So the patterns can be anything, can be in any aspect, can be in emotional aspect, physical aspect, in your relationships, in your community, in your friends, anything it can be. Okay, I have listed some of views. For example, the first one is your own behavior. Your own behavior includes like the things when you do things repetitively, when you know that you have to change this. For example, that I am a person who is not able to say no to people, even then I know that they're just making use of me. And I was this person way before. I was never able to say no to many people. And when I even knew that these are making me feel used, then even I am making them feel used. This is the toxic pattern about myself that I used to have. Many of you still might be having these things, that you feel shy, you feel people, what will they think when I will say no, or they will not break with us. Honey, they will understand. If they are truly for yourself, they will understand that you are getting used. Okay. Second thing is the repetitive pattern could be parental or generational. Generational in the sense, I say that something that's coming on to your generations, like it was given to your parents by their parents, and then our parents give them to us. Like it can be anything, the thinking pattern, the mindset that okay, only these things can make you make money. But it's not true. It is a new whole era. In this new whole era, you can have money from many sources. It is not necessary that you do a particular thing and you will get it, right? Okay, many things it can be. It can be in the mindset, in the emotional aspect as well, that when parents decide that okay, this is the certain type of the kids that are considered to be good, so our kid need to be this way. It's not important. It's absolutely not. That is the toxic pattern. That is the again and again repeating pattern that you have to recognize. The very first step to get out of these patterns is to recognize your patterns, because when you understand that okay, these things are happening again and again in my life, then only you will be able to change. The next thing that I have, like the toxic people around you, obviously many people, many of us go through the same things, like toxic people around us. We come out of one circle, and then we meet another people, we meet another friend, we meet another guy, girl, anyone we meet, and then we just trust them and they come out to be toxic. It can be in any way. That toxic are toxic, come on guys, right? And it is not that we can blame anyone, because anybody we cannot judge, because we don't know the whole story and we don't know the whole thing that the person is coming from, right? But in the moment when the person is toxic for me, that is only using me, and when I need that person, nobody is there. Nobody, absolutely nobody is there. And that person I needed the most, when I was there for that, he was never there. It was never there. They were never there. The friends, the people we used to trust, no one was there. Okay, so yeah, these are the old patterns, and then these people come back into your life to test you again in the different phases. Like they change their faces and they come back again, and then they test you, like do you really learn your lessons? Okay, then things again happen. If you haven't learned, then you say okay, why is this happening again to me, and why am I not getting the good people in my life, right? It is because we still have not learned our lessons. You still have not learned our lessons, your lessons. Okay, so that's more important, that you learn your lessons. Okay, next thing is like facing yourself. Facing yourself means that Many of the toxic patterns involve that you cannot even face yourself, because you know that you've been around this toxic people, you've been around these toxic patterns, you've been around these toxic mental behavior, yeah, mindsets, these all things, right? And you, somewhere everyone has that soul that recognizes that this is happening wrong with me. And whenever you see in the mirror, you cannot face yourself, honey, because you're torturing yourself, torturing in many ways. When you see that again and again you're going through something, again and again you're going through something, there are some things that we cannot absolutely control, because there's a lot of things other expecting that, right, affecting that. But there are some things that we can control. At least we can recognize our patterns, at least we can have healthy boundaries, at least we can have the power to decide whom we should keep in our life and we should not. Okay, so these are the some of the examples that I had. And obviously when you will listen to these things, you will be able to relate your problems with that. Okay, this was the pattern, okay, this was the thing that was going wrong, this was the thing that was like repeating again and again with me. And when something is happening in the patterns throughout the years, that means that definitely wants to tell you something, that honey, please understand, that guys, come on, come out of the situation. You need to understand, universe don't even want you to go through a lot of things, but you are not learning your lessons. Until unless you don't learn your lessons, you will feel these things. Okay, so now we'll come to the point where we can absolutely take some things, take some steps to change these things and get out of these old patterns. Okay, the very first thing is the self reflection. Okay, so guys, see, healing or self love is a journey. It is a very not very long journey, because you will start seeing the changes, but it's important that you come out of that situation, right? It is a journey that you have to live, and it will have the ups and downs. But the most important thing is that at least you are standing up for yourself, because ultimately the reality of the world is that you come alone and you go alone. If you cannot be loyal with yourself, if you cannot stand for yourself, what's the meaning of anything else? Even if you want to make anyone in your life happy, your loved ones, your family, your friends, anyone, first of all, it's important that you care for yourself, you work for yourself. They will be also happy now when you will be happy, you will be healthy, right? Okay, so very first step comes at is the self reflection. When we talk about self reflection, it's more about understanding yourself. Self reflection means that you do shadow works, you answer the questions that you always were scared. Yeah, I know it's very hard, it's very hard. I mean, shadow works are way too difficult, but when you go through them, when you do them, you will start to realize that okay, it was required. And there were, like, when I started doing shadow work, from my personal experience, I had the wounds of like ages, like years, and that wounds were that much that I was a totally different person because of that wounds, and I was never able to like go and have people communication and commute myself and like talk to people. Like, these all things were not mine, and like not opening up, because I was not able to heal that. Anything else good in my life will only enter when I will have the space and I will be able to have that, right? And when it didn't happen, I was just like thinking that okay, why is it not happening, why is, and these things are happening again and again with me, because they were trying to teach me a lesson, and जब तक वो मुझे नहीं सिखा देंगी, they will not go. Simply, how will I get rid of that? So I started doing shadow works, and shadow works, I used to cry in the nights, like a lot, when I used to shadow work, because I was so much wounded by my past traumas, by my past experiences, and they needed to be healed. I'm not saying that they are completely healed, but I am in the journey, I am healing. So it would be best that we can have more people in this healing journey, right? And I've been always saying that these self-reflection even is the step when you start to open up. It is even a step of opening up when you cannot even trust anyone in your life. Like, Yeah, there are people when they don't have anyone in their life and they're just done with everything. Then, babe, just get a paper, get a pen, and write it down. You need to write it down. Even before shadow works, I used to do these things, that I used to write that down. That used to help me a lot. I was a person who never used to share like people things, because I always was scared of sharing, because what they will think, right? Obviously, the same pattern. Okay, next thing is the letting go of the past. Now, after self reflection, the second thing you have to do is that letting go. It is important that you have to release. It's like when something is wounded, we keep it in our hands like this, the closed off. We have to open the hands and release it. It's important that we release it. Let go. It happened. It happened. It is not the present anymore. It was your past. It can be anything. It can be anything. Trust me, it can be anything. It was your past. It's not your present. And decide that it is not going to be your present, right? Things will only repeat when you let them, right? When you don't, they will not repeat. Trust me. Heal yourself. Let go of the past experiences and don't let these past experiences define you, define your present, define your future, or define your mindset, the way you think. Okay? You should always learn lessons from your past, but not keep the past always with you, right? Let go of that things and forgive yourself for anything you did. Like, if you were bullied, if you were treated like shit, if you were scolded, misbehaved, anything it can be, forgive yourself. You were not that in the state to understand the things, but now you can. You can, absolutely, you can, right? So, this is the second step, that letting go of the past. It's really important. The next thing is clarify your values and priorities, obviously. First of all, what I see and what I keep with me is like prioritizing myself. It's really, really, really very important to prioritize yourself and have the priorities set. The first one priority should be you. In any condition, it should be you, no one else. I'm sorry, you may love anyone, but that love will also exist when you will exist. Simple as that. So clarify your values, that what you want in your life, what are your core values that you cannot let them go, and what are your core values that you stand on. A person always stand on their core values, that what is the minimum thing, that minimum value that they cannot let go of in any situation. Identify that, recognize that, okay, and then prioritize what you want in your life. Do you really want that? Do you really need this? It's also a difference between, do you really need this or do you really want that? Okay, so you need to understand that. Next thing is set your intentions and goals. Simple, like when you do self reflections, you will understand that here I was wrong, here I was right, here things happened, here I was meant to learn a lesson, I didn't, but now I can. Definitely, it's never too late. Second thing, when you do letting go of the past, you release the past, you will open the doors to many new opportunities for your life. You will choose a better life, you will choose a dream life, maybe, right? Not maybe, definitely, if you work for that, and if you have bigger goals, clear goals, better goals, work for them. Obviously, when you'll come out of the situation that I was feeling shittiest at the moments, and when you come out of the self reflections, you will realize that, okay, my inner child wanting these things, so I should provide that these things, right? Should love myself, and in self love comes that also. When you love yourself, you will make yourself independent and not dependent on anyone for any type of needs. Okay, so these are some steps and these are some ways of recognizing the old patterns, and I'll meet you guys in the next video. Till then, take care, have self love in your life, love yourself, you're very important always. Bye bye, take care, love you guys.